Hey guys, how's it going? Preparing here. So today I want to talk about some security measures because, I've learned a few things over the last couple of months, and I've learned quite a few things this last week, as a matter of fact. So this does stem from two parts. One, which is what I'd like to share as a story. So, I try to keep up to date with the internet security stuff because, as a streamer, people know who I am. People like to, feel like the bigger man by DDoSing me, hacking my accounts, and all the good stuff. So I kind of have to be on top of these things. And, I have someone who, helps me a lot when it comes to the security side of things on the internet. And a few days ago, we were going over like the passwords stuff and the strengths and all that good stuff. And he was telling me that, there's these certain vulnerabilities in these certain particular sites, and that it's pretty easy to figure out what the password is on them. So he ended up, looking over at my account, and he was able to crack my password in about 30 seconds. And I have pretty good passwords. I have fairly unique passwords. I do use some passwords the same on some sites as I do on others, but obviously as a result of this occurrence, I no longer do that. And he brought me to this website, which is fairly safe. It's called passwordmeter.com. Alright, I said fairly safe, but I said fairly safe because nothing is ever 100%. I'm sure the website is fine. He assured me the website is fine. Basically what the website does is it gives you an arbitrary check to see how good your password is, based on certain statistics, and obviously it's an arbitrary number. It is what it is. But being the min-maxer that I am, I decided to min-max my password using this site as much as I could. So you can see this site is pretty interesting. I put in the password cake mix because I'm sure a lot of people have passwords like that, and it rates 9%, and 9%. You can pretty much do the math. It's the additions minus the deductions. That gives you a value of 9. I think that's where that comes from. And gives you some pretty good stuff. But the other side, before I get too much into this, is that, certain things have resulted in a lot of people with Path of Exile accounts getting hacked. Now, Path of Exile doesn't have the best security measures out of any game out there, but honestly, it's pretty good. Most of the people that get hacked fall within the range that are easily hacked because, some people are hacked, but some others are clearly not. And as Chris mentioned in his little blog, which I thought was pretty funny about the matter, he says that if these guys really compromise the database as a whole, they would be hacking, some more interesting accounts, like developer accounts, like his account, like my account, stuff like that. And while there is some reason to argue that, overall, he is, in my opinion, correct, because that's kind of how these things work. A lot of people use very crap passwords, which are easily brute forceable. What brute forcing means someone would run a program that would go over very basic passwords and run through them. And other passwords are just too weak, so they get cracked. But they may not get cracked, or they may not get hacked, or whatever. But what may also happen is some people have sometimes like a very weak password on their email account, and their email gets compromised, and they're able to fish out all these different accounts all over the internet. And in some other cases, on a similar note, people have the same passwords for other accounts which do have their database compromised, and they can kind of relate the passwords through that. So some pretty shady stuff going on there. But what can you really do about it? That's really the thing. I've made one of these videos before, but judging by the fact that one of my passwords was cracked in about 30 seconds, kind of brings a new measure to this issue. So going back to the password meter, I understand there are some skeptics out there, and it's very important to be skeptical when it comes to programs that tell you how strong your password is. I mean, come on. But even though I've been assured that it's safe, I'm sure if you guys would like to reside in the fact that they wouldn't have your password, you can just kind of use this website as some kind of guidance to see what other people think really strong passwords are like. So you can see that the additions involve number of characters, so really long passwords, longer passwords rather than shorter passwords are stronger. Uppercase characters, lowercase, numbers, symbols, and what else do they have? Middle number of symbols and requirements. So it's just a lot of stuff in there, trying to figure out exactly how to scale these things up. You can kind of, put in some mock passwords. If you want to put in your password, you probably want to hit that hide key, but as a reason for this video, I just kind of want to show you guys what goes in there. So the idea is that the password that I had hacked was about a 90% score on this website. So this website's telling me that's a very good password. But if you stop at 90%, that's not min-maxing. Obviously, the password was 90%, was a password I can remember, I could go off of memory. And if I wanted to really go off the charts, I would have to kind of like control copy passwords and stuff like that. And I just thought that was annoying. But I've kind of realized that it's a requirement for, this time on the internet, especially, as a result of what I do on the internet. So to show you guys a stronger password, I'll give you guys this example. This password scores 100%, but it's not very long. So it scores, just over 100. And that's really the part that you can really scale to an unbelievable amount. So the account that happened to be hacked, the score was about 90, and the password that I replaced it with, the score was about 30,000. So the password was, something like 300 characters long, and had a near perfect score on the deductions, as I so carefully had fun with on this website. But if you don't trust the website, obviously you don't want to put in your main password just for the fun of it. But for me, I didn't really care too much. I adjusted it a little bit afterward, but kind of the same reasoning. But the idea was that while I won't be able to really share with you guys where I store these passwords, but if you do want to do something like this where you have an extraordinarily long password, so you're probably right at the top, you're going to be the last people that get hacked on the website. You got to make sure you have it in a secure place in case your computer crashes, in case your hard drive, is gone. You don't want to be the kind of guy that doesn't have access to any of his accounts. So make sure you keep that on another medium, some other way. Very, very important, so you don't lose access to all of your accounts. Keep that in mind. The other thing is, although you may have these crazy long passwords, you cannot use the same crazy long password on more than one website. This is something I kept in mind because I kind of use the same passwords maybe a few times, maybe a couple, but it's still a bad thing to do. It is kind of minimizing damage control, but it's also the fact that these guys who go out on the internet to try to take over accounts, they can kind of see the connection between 2 or 3 accounts. So when one of your accounts gets compromised, maybe it's one that you even forgot about, they're able to take that information and hack your Path of Exile account, for instance. So it's very important to know this stuff. And the last thing I want to talk about is like the secret question and answer stuff. That stuff is also been hacked, and it goes even further than that. But you at least want to take the next step. When it comes to secret question and answer, never have obvious shit, and even when you have like an answer, don't have just an answer. You gotta treat that like a password, and it's very important that you do so. So I hope you guys didn't really get hacked too much around the internet, but I realized that a lot of people are getting hacked in the Path of Exile area. But I think it's just a matter of the guys who have the weakest passwords, who are the slow ones in the herd, are the ones getting hit. So you got to be really careful with that stuff, and take the measures. Shouldn't be happening to you guys. Good luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow.